This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Friday, February 21st, 2025. I'm Marek Mazurek. National Engineers Week was founded in 1951, and this week, two Indianapolis-based companies shared what their jobs are like and possible career opportunities with thousands of students. The American Council of Engineering Companies of Indiana organized more than 200 classroom visits across 39 counties to introduce students to engineering careers. Inside Indiana Business visited a 6th grade classroom at Heritage Christian School in Indianapolis, where Parsons Corporation civil engineer Sean Porter shared some of the Indiana projects he's worked on.
And they can kind of think, well, gosh, I'm good at math and science. I think I could maybe be an engineer. And so it just gives them an opportunity to kind of plant that seed, and then hopefully they explore it.
After the presentation, students asked Porter and two of his coworkers about everything from salary to higher education to details about a bridge project in Tippecanoe County. Indiana University President Pamela Whitten is getting a raise and a contract extension that will run through 2031. The IU Board of Trustees on Thursday voted 8-1 in favor of the $200,000 per year raise and 5-year extension to Whitten's contract, which was set to expire in the summer of 2026. When the raise goes into effect, Whitten will see her salary jump from about $700,000 a year to $900,000 annually. The vote comes just a week after Indiana University Indianapolis received a Research 1 designation, signaling the campus's step up into a higher level of research prowess. IU Indy is also setting up IU Lab, a bioscience research accelerator, with a $138 million grant from the Lilly Endowment. However, the board's vote of confidence in Whitten is not mirrored by faculty throughout the IU system. Whitten drew widespread criticism from students and faculty for her decision to call in Indiana State Police officers to deal with pro-Palestine protests last spring on the IU Bloomington campus. Faculty at Bloomington and other IU campuses have criticized Whitten for her administration's perceived stifling of academic freedom and contentions over shared governance. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
The embattled Indiana Economic Development Corporation would face greater scrutiny in a transparency-focused proposal which unanimously passed the Senate on Thursday, but faces an uncertain future in the House. Senate Bill 516 establishes an Office for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, an agenda item of Governor Mike Braun. But it also holds provisions taking aim at the IEDC, which has faced years' worth of backlash from lawmakers and constituents alike over its secretive approach to economic development efforts like the LEAP Innovation Development District. The legislation would require the quasi-public agency to tell local units of government about acquisitions of more than 100 acres at least 30 days before those purchases close. Author Senator Brian Buchanan got the provisions out of the Senate last year, but it never got a hearing in the House. Buchanan told the Capitol Chronicle he doesn't know if it has any better chance this year. And the IEDC is offering incentives to two out-of-state tech startups who have committed to expanding their Indiana operations after participating in an Indianapolis-based startup accelerator. Those two companies are Sweden-based Imagilabs and Minnesota-based Awesome People Leaders. Both companies have office space at 16 Tech, and both say they're committed to hiring Indiana-based employees starting this year. Both startups participated in the first cohort of the Butler Accelerator for Education and Workforce Innovation, which launched last year as a partnership between Butler University, Wisconsin-based Generator, and Indianapolis-based TechPoint. Imagilabs offers a platform for teaching the coding language Python to students, and Awesome People Leaders, launched in 2022, offers online leadership training. A bill to expand property tax revenue for charter schools cleared a key legislative hurdle Thursday, despite fierce pushback from both sides of the aisle and hours of debate on the Senate floor. Within Senate Bill 518 are provisions to require all Indiana public school districts to share property tax dollars with charter schools in their attendance boundaries if 100 or more students leave the traditional district for brick-and-mortar charter schools. The legislation was scaled back Wednesday to slow down the timeline for revenue sharing. Bill author Senator Linda Rogers said the amendment concessions were largely prompted by her Senate Republican caucus colleagues. 12 GOP senators ultimately voted against the bill. The bill prompted widespread pushback from Democrats and advocates for traditional public schools who argued it will drain critical funds from already cash-strapped districts. Crew Car Wash Vice President Sally Grant is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC. A weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.